Hello, today for review I've got a new flagship model by mass favorite company Blon. It's model A8 or BL-A8 or as it's called in some sources Prometheus. And you know, it really based on the feedback, based on the reviews, it really reminds that movie. Because some people like it, others seems to hate it, but let's find out what it was. Price this time is about $85. I will add the links to the Linsole shop in the description. It's still a single dynamic driver, but this time Blon implemented absolutely unique state-of-the-art design. And you know, this time I'm not overestimating because it's just what it is. I'm not exaggerating. This design is unique not only for the Chi-Fi world, but in general. And probably you've seen some photos, but in real life it looks even more stylish. Anyway, let's proceed to the review. Earphones came in a nice and pretty stylish box. Not a big and looks accurate with good polygraphy. Some basic technical specifications on the back side, 115 decibels of sensitivity. So actually it's fun because in Chinese it's 32 ohms and in English it's 16 ohms. I don't know how did they measure it. So color is light, white steel. They also have a more grayish version. So no microphone, white steel. And 10mm lightweight diaphragm dynamic driver. Inside of the box everything is organized also really nicely, looks stylish. Here are earpieces themselves, nice white foam. I really like that it's white foam and not that rubber that I hate. Sets of tips, different ones. Stock cable and Blon's traditional storage pouch. So, as you can see, there are two pair of one type and three pair of another type. So everyone will find something that will suit one's taste or ear, so package and accessory set are done on a really good level. In terms of design, they are nothing but great. Actual earpiece itself is pretty small. Probably you can see that here is this round thing inside holds the driver and its acoustic cavity. Then it has internal tube that goes to the socket. But outer part of shell looks absolutely great with these asymmetric holes, and of course it's not for the trypophobic persons, but looks comparable to some flagship models. It's made of metal and feels pretty solid and definitely is durable, so it works for quite a long time. Spouts are also made of metal. I don't know why, but they made the inner part gold, pretty wide bores and just average spouts in terms of length, so sound isolation is also average, but there is a big lip for holding the tips and protective grill, so everything in this aspect is done nicely. And build quality is just great. It's definitely eye-catching and attention-grabbing earpieces. Stock cable is made replaceable, and actually wearing comfort is also good. Despite of this sophisticated shape, actually the inner part is just regular metal shell with nice ergonomics, so you just fit it properly and it will stay in ears. Cable is made replaceable, used 2-pin connectors and fitting nicely, holds really tightly, and actually fitting the overall design pretty nicely. Cable is good with ear hooks, no memory wire, but ear hooks works well, reducing the microphonic effect, so it's almost not getting hard when it's cold outside. It's slightly softer than average, pretty comfortable cable. splitter, and after splitter it goes down to the regular 3.5mm jack. So in terms of design, they are great, and package and accessory set and other parts of presentation are done really well. And of course about the sound, to keep the formalities I burned them in for 48 hours, but there were no big changes in sound. So if you decide to get them, just select proper tips. I got good results with the bigger, longer tips, and start enjoying them. And let's have a player on the table to show examples. And I must admit that once again with Blon I'm in the situation when I don't understand the reviews. I didn't understand all that raving great reviews about the BL-A8, and once again I don't understand that critical and bad reviews about A8, because it's really good, interesting sounding earphones. Of course, it's not the mass market tuning, and at the same time it's, it's not audiophilic tuning. Also, it's fun, engaging, blonish sound, but finally they did what they have to do, in my opinion, in my taste. They boosted upper mids and treble to compensate low frequencies, and actually they added more control to the bass, and they created nice, fun V-shaped earphones for those who like bass, but at the same time with good upper mids and treble. So let's describe everything step by step. So bass is nice, even not for the price, it's just good. It goes deep, it has good impact, it has noticeable accent. It's not super bass heavy, but it's for those who like, meaty, weighty, good kicking bass, but at the same time it stays in place. It color mids a little bit, but it's not shadowing them too much, not bleeding too much onto mids. It goes to the good depths, it has normal resolution, not balanced armatures, not that fancy, trendy, recently super dry and super fast dynamic drivers. It's just a good dynamic drivers with nice weight and at the same time with normal resolution. Playing nicely with acoustic instruments, but of course shining on the deep bass, shining on the synthesized low frequencies in cases when quantity is as important as quality. But at the same time still nice, pretty impactful, with good sense of presence. And as an example, wake up, Massive Attack, Teardrop. Nice, good, smooth low frequencies, and at the same time the deep going hits that this track is saturated with, especially these hits giving a good sense of pleasure, because it gives you that sense of impact and so on. It's not super dry impact, a bit slower than it should be, but at the same time it's sounding really impressive and fun. And giving boosted upper mids, it builds a great contrast with vocal, giving really satisfying way of representing this track. Mids are on the warmer side, so if you need maximum resolution, if you like models that are focused on the micro contrast, it's not your choice. It's not bad in terms of resolution, but definitely micro detalization not the strongest part of these earphones. At the same time they are very emotional, they have a bit of additional weight, giving good body to male vocals, and thanks to the boosted upper mids, female vocals are sounding also clean and crisp. Of course, additional weight sometimes spoils naturalness, and they don't sound 100% natural in all circumstances, but it's not the model created for such purposes, it's the model for those who like warmer sound with a hint of additional weight, and they definitely deliver that. And they're not critical for the quality of records, so MP3 files, streaming media is okay with them. Just select something with good mastering. And what they are particularly good, it's imaginary stage. I don't know why and how, but actually stage is bigger than average, and it's not the typical for the base heavy models, at least for me. So in terms of three-dimensional positioning, they are also nice. Not super wide and huge stage, but still better than average and better than I expected, definitely. And as an example for the mid frequencies, Joe Cocker. Tonight, actually, Joe's vocal sounds great. Accompaniment is a bit lacking of proper weight distribution because guitars are getting a bit of additional warmth, but still sounding pretty pleasant, especially if you like such a warmer signature. And upper mids and treble is boosted, so if you're sensitive to the treble, probably it can be a bit too much, but for me it's not coming even close to the limit of my threshold. So for those who like treble like I do, they are nice. Of course, extension is just average, and in terms of resolution and speed it's still balanced. Oh, sorry, it's still not a balanced armatures, it's a dynamic driver, a bit slower with a bit of additional weight, but at the same time clean, crisp, and not actually sounding too unnatural. So for me it's just a good balanced way of doing things, giving overall good sense of balance with low frequencies. And as an example, actually, Manowar, Master of the Wind, one of the best ballads and one of the underlooked ballads in the history of metal. Nice percussions and all that actually not tiny, brushes that is used here with many rattling sounds, a lot of cymbals and so on. And that sounds pretty pleasant, and especially if you're not super sensitive for the treble. So to summarize everything once again, it's a good V-shaped dynamic drivers with a bit warmer mids. Not the masters of mid resolution, but at the same time not as bad as I've expected based on some reviews. In terms of pairing, actually they can play with almost everything, but some entry to mid-level player will be nice with them. Or actually they can benefit from some dongle digital to analog converter. Speaking about the conversions, just a few models of this price range. What we've got in this price range, Wither H1 has a bit less, actually not a bit less, just less bass, more resolution on the mids, not too much but more, and a bit better treble extension. While here you'll get more bass, you'll get a bit warmer mids and bit more accented treble. And KB Ear Diamond, actually Diamond, not Believe. Believe is more expensive. Diamond is warmer with more impactful bass, with more impact and weight on the mids and a bit less treble. What we got also in this price range, I don't know, Fios FD1, more linear, more sharper and so on. Ibasso IT00, actually they are a bit more resolving on the mids, bit less impactful on the bass, but bit more natural on the treble. And also Ibasso released new dynamic drivers, hope I will test them soon. So to summarize everything here, finally it's a model made by Blon that suits my tastes. Not 100% my type of tuning, but I like it, I enjoy it, it's more balanced than previous models, and for me, subjectively, it has more value than BL-A8 and moreover 03. Maybe it's not as good in terms of price to quality ratio as more affordable models, but in my opinion they are really worth its price, especially if you like such signature and if you like this design. Definitely Blon improved their sound and created unique design, in my opinion, that for that money. So thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.